Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to more Tormented Souls action. Back in the outfit again, and now we can pretty much just move on. So yeah, I don't even think... It wasn't even bolted down, you could have... You know what, I've already explained that enough. Let's go down to the boiler room. By which I mean the morgue. Although we will be seeing the boiler room again, and, well, other areas. Whatever, the point is, we're exploring the underground, and, yes... facilities down here, and it also seems that someone's been living here for some time. They've got a television, they've got food stocks, medical supplies. I wonder what was going on down here. Well, I mean, if Father Christian Man's, response was anything to go by, yeah, some dark deranged experiments were going on, so, we got a whole ass and find the girls. And yes, as you can no doubt tell, there's enemies down here too, otherwise we wouldn't have the candlelights. Jesus Christ, that Marilyn Manson looking thing was scary. But yeah, in areas like this, same rules apply. Lead them back towards the light, and make sure you can aim your regular nail gun thing, and put a stop to them. There we go, 40 whacks with a wet noodle, Caroline. And that's the ticket. Of course, you will be fighting more enemies, but, yeah, this is where your strategies can begin to change up a little bit. Well, primarily, I mean saving your pipe shotgun for, you know, the pufferfish and the Frankenwalkers, while saving the regular ammunition for, well, the hopalongs and clawfingers. Yeah, that's pretty creepy. Was that painted by Maria, or was that something the cult just happened to have? I mean, I'm not too sure either way, but it seems a little bit too... morose for such a heavenly organization. More health kits, more saving, more loading. And yeah, this is probably where a lot of the environment design, apart from one other area a little bit later on, begins to get its most Silent Hill 1, and to be perfectly honest, I can't help but love it. Excuse me. Again, like I'll sing my praises to the art direction, man, like, this game has some really strong art design, and... I mean, you might call some of the level tropes a little bit more Pavlovian for, you know, most horror games, but I don't know, the art direction of this game really sells like the whole decrepit, decaying look with a twinge of the occult going on, and it just makes for a beautiful combination. Yes, seems there is another one just around here. And yeah, enemies do somewhat react to light, but I'm not too sure if it's light or movement, because, I mean... Yeah, the pufferfish didn't even know we were there, so we could just blast them away, so are they aware of light, or is it sound? I'm gonna hedge my bet on sound, but might be just a quirk with the pathfinding AI. I don't know. Might be something to experiment with if I ever pick up the game again, but in the meantime, what is this? More of William Wildberger's diary, and oh, dearie me, it seems Maria has lost another child. Kinda curious that they seem to be trying so often for kids. In fact, if I didn't know betters, I'd say there was something sinister going on. And I mean, to be completely honest, I'm not too sure on what standards of adoption were back in, like, 1970s or whatever, but, you know, I'm kinda shocked that Maria and William didn't consider maybe, I don't know, adopting a kid, or maybe, like... having like a surrogate mother or something to, you know, at least foster their child. I mean, I don't know, I mean, it was the 60s, so I suppose maybe, like, fidelity laws might have been a thing or something. Because, I mean, I think it was back during the times when you could actually be done in prison for adultery, so... Yeah, I'm not too sure. I guess maybe it was something they either didn't consider at the time, or... Well, obviously we know something a little bit more sinister is going on, but, yeah, logistically speaking, you would have thought that, they would have had other methods that would have put the kibosh on the cult's plans, and what is this?
Oh dear, seems that William Wildberger has gone to the dark side and done terrible things. Just like his daddy. He'll make him very proud, son.
Never forget who you are, Bertram. Yes, silly voices. That's what you always revert to when you have fuck all to say. But I mean, I will say, like, continuing with what I mentioned earlier in the commentary, about, you know, the hairs on the back of your neck standing on end, just, honestly, being afraid to press forward, the way the camera's positioned, like, I mean, just the level of atmosphere in levels like this. Again, it is, I mean, even going through the game, like, several more times, like, again, it still gets to me, man. The atmosphere is just brilliant. And then, of course, you have this. Oh! Evil. Evil. Actually, like, I mean, you know the inverted cross is meant to, like, go for Satanism, but what happens if you, like, put the cross, like, horizontally or diagonally? Like, is that only, like, your half support Satan? Does putting it in the middle mean, like, you're agnostic? Or an atheist or something? What is the theistic thing? Or is it just, like, a rebellion? Whatever. I don't know. I lack the religious knowledge to really know what these things. Okay, and a brief pause in recording because there are people talking in my head. And yeah, this is also an opportunity for you to gather around, gain a few more supplies, and well, be a bit wary because there are enemies abound. And I believe this is also where the game over screen, like, still image was taken. Well, obviously when things are a little bit more lit up, but yeah, you know what I mean. I mean, I'm not going to be showing this off until the bonus video, but the game over screen for this game is a little bit lame. Well, it's pretty much just like a still image with a whole, like, you know, you died thing on it, and basically, I don't know, it seems a little bit more like a placeholder, like, you know, it was going to be taken out with a more in-depth death animation, which this game does have, but, well, I don't know. Maybe well, I mean, you are going to be seeing it, but I don't know. Kinda feel like more could have been a bit done with it, but I don't know. It kind of shows this game's, well, indie developer-ish, amateurish design things coming across. Boo. Oh no, that scare that was done more effectively in Silent Hill 1. You know, where they didn't have the whole bloop. It was pretty much just a guy falling out of a locker that gave you a brief jump scare, you accepted it for what it was, and you could have just moved on without having, like, the scare chord thing going blurn, da-na-na-na-na, da-na-na. There we go. But in any case, we also have more information to learn, although that won't be for a little while, so, this would be the point where I'd have some trivia about the game. But since Tormented sells, well, I don't really know much about it beyond what I've already played. Anything I could say is spoilers, and, well, yeah. So I should probably bring up some memories I have with the game. Oh yeah, by the way, you can also open doors to have direct access to other parts of the facility. Well, I mean, it's pretty much just there to make ease of traversal, and something you kinda need with a certain lateral thinking puzzle. Or at least in terms of, you know, just go back to an area, do a thing, and then come back. There we go, that took care of the hop along. And recording again. Whoopee. 3 times in one part. And now it's completely thrown up my groove, including the hop along that's running away. But anyway, it's a gradual exploration, but we'll get there in the end and hopefully not take too much damage. Alright, there we go. Come on, 40 whacks with a wet noodle, Caroline. And back to the ladder and off we go. Yeehaw. Well, I mean, this is admittedly a part I was just sort of dreading commentary-wise because there wouldn't really be much to talk about. Except for what's going to be coming up soon to a DVD near you. Where we learn a little bit more information about Noah Morissette, Maria's erstwhile father. I suppose this was probably taken from a different hospital because this place didn't exist when Noah was a child, so yeah, back in 1916 it seems that Noah had a twin brother. And it seems that Methuselah, yeah, apparently died shortly after birth. I'm sure this had absolutely no effect on Noah whatsoever, certainly not leading to his cold, aloof, abusive ways in which he would have inflicted upon his daughter that William seemed to despise, so yeah, nothing to worry about. Though that being said, this does also elucidate on a bit of the plot that I kind of wish had a little bit more focus. Because, I mean, again, we get a lot about the Wildbergers, I mean, obviously, since this is the house/hospital. But yeah, not much on, well, Noah, or Maria, or Ian, or Jody, Jason, Taylor. Okay, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, I don't know. It would have been a little bit more interesting to see. Maybe in a Tormented Souls prequel, perhaps? Although... Actually, no, the more that I think about it, it could work, although... you'd probably have to make allowances for small bits of horror here and there. But I mean, I don't know, if you wanted to continue the Tormented Souls thing, in terms of like any sort of game or narrative, I think a prequel would probably be the only way to do it. I mean, you could do a sequel, I suppose, but that would, well, require taking on one of the endings, and not really too sure how you continue after that without artificially adding something. But in any case, ruminations on the plot aside, we need to turn off the power, which means fumbling in the dark. And as if that wasn't scary enough, well, yeah, pants to be darkened. Probably should have edited this out, but bugger it, when have I ever been one for effort in both commentary or editing? Or doing anything, really. But yeah, it's also in this very hallway. Again, you could see the diver's helmet, and you could see the picture, like, right at the end of the hall. Examine that picture 3 times, circle around the diver's thing, and that's pretty much how you unlock a puzzle, which after you solve that, you get the modified nail gun that you saw the last part. And again, it is something you can actually unlock on your very first playthrough, mind you, if you know how to do it, but yeah. If you don't, then you pretty much get the instructions on what to do by the time you've beaten the game at least once. And I suppose something I could also talk about while we make our lengthy commute back from one place to another, is that unlockable weapons. You don't actually get as much as you otherwise would in a typical Silent Hill or Resident Evil game. Like, I mean, you don't get, like an unlimited rocket launcher, you don't get, like, a space alien hyper blaster or anything, or, like, you know, any sort of melee weapons, like a chainsaw or katana or lightsaber. And again, I find that to be a bit disappointing. I mean, again, like, as an indie game, it does have to cut a lot of its content with a fine-tooth comb, but at the same time, I think they could have stood to, like, I don't know, maybe get, like, I mean, if not one additional new weapon, like, I don't know, maybe, like, I don't know, a melee weapon, or, like, a joke weapon. Like, I mean, I don't know, you could have maybe had Caroline beating enemies with a frying pan, a baseball bat, or, I don't know, something that just would have been funny, or cool. Like, I don't know, it would have been cool to have, like, a lightsaber to cut your enemies in between. I don't know, it just seems like the sort of thing that games back then would have done, and, I don't know, I guess maybe depending on the level of development, or just what sort of resources they had, or budget issues, just couldn't do it, which is kind of a shame, but whatever. I still think the game as we have it now is pretty okay, just could have used a bit more post-game stuff. Well, that and also, the endings are a bit of something of contention. I mean, without spoiling anything in the ending specifically, you only have 3 endings, and, well, 2 of them are a bit disappointing, and, well, there's one that I do genuinely enjoy, but yeah, I don't know whether or not that one's meant to be the canon one. Well, I mean, since there's no Tormented Souls sequel, I guess any of them can be canon, if you want them to be. So, again, there is no Harry Mason, Sybil Bennett dies kind of thing being the canon one, much to my chagrin, but yeah, whatever. In any case, now that the power is off, and that pretty much turns off the electrical current for good, so if you know where to go, you can pretty much, well, work your way around here and turn the power back on, therefore making everything nice and bright again in the light. And we also get this, which is kind of a curious thing actually. They talk about an escaped patient, which I suppose is meant to be something of like a red herring to make the player think, oh no, maybe this escaped patient is the one doing all these murderous experiments, or perhaps this is meant to be Noah, who goes under the initials HBP. But yeah, this doesn't really lead to anything. I mean, I did initially have some suspicions that this was meant to be the priest, who was faking his identity, but no, actually, the priest is, you know, legitimately, well, priestly guy. Though then again, you would have thought with a picture like that they would have gone for that kind of thing, at least to add to the ambiguity, but yeah, this guy seems to be a bit of a creep, and the priest is nice. Or so it seems. Anyway, like, we never even learn what happens to this man, so, yeah, depending on the scope of William Wildberger's things, I guess the implication is meant to be that we'll be meeting him a little bit later on. That was a bit creepy. But perhaps we'll be seeing the end result later. And we've finally made it. The morgue. Although we won't be there for long, so, yeah. Because connected to the morgue, if you'll remember all the way back to part 1, is a locked door that leads to the basement, which means we can turn on the power. But that doesn't mean I'm not going to give you a creepy tour of the place in the darkness. By the way, pay attention to those legs. Well, once we unpause the game. Yes. They're twitching. How are they doing that? I have no idea, but, yes. In total darkness, the spirits will walk the earth once more. So, I guess maybe that's meant to imply the lower half of that guy's body was sentient? I mean, honestly, it just reminds me of that one episode of Red Dwarf where Rimmer's legs went off on their own. Come on, leggies, this way, because the shuttle was late. The shuttle was late, and they're usually all so good. But yeah, there's actually no consequence about turning on the generator. Like, I mean, I was initially thinking that, you know, in the darkness they were going to throw some enemies at you, but then I remembered that, oh yeah, you can't fight in darkness, so it either would have been really bullshit or terrible design to have you fight without any source of light. So, yeah, that's probably why they allow you to turn on the generator. I mean, to kind of spoil a few things here and there, you do actually get a flashlight that you can attach to your person, you know, in true Harry Mason tradition, so yeah, it does kind of make you wonder why you don't get it immediately. But, I mean, I don't know, I suppose they wanted you to keep the lighter as long as possible as a little keepsake of William Wildberger's treasure possessions. But yeah, these corpses are twitching. They are still alive, and it seems that somebody was conducting experiments down here. And, if we remember William Wildberger being conducive to finding a cure for his wife's condition, well, that tells you about everything you need to know. So yes, he's gone evil. Blood. Hope it is not the girl blood. Emma? Or Anna? Are you there? And of course, in true Morgue tradition, yes, everything goes fucking flip shit. Pretty decent scare, if a bit heavy-handed though, but I do quite like it. And now we are about to enter the secret basement where the revelations will make themselves known, so I'm Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.